Hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. Is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another video game review. So, I did want to get a couple more reviews that are kind of near and dear to me the way before September officially ends, and before both Green Day and Mariah Carey wake up from their slumber. We're taking it back to my childhood. Those of you who know me know I love Lego video games. They're pretty fun, and yes, they're for a younger demographic, but I've been playing them since I was a kid, and they're pretty fun. They're a pretty good way to pass the time I'm in. So I figured for my birth month here, we'll take it back to the first Lego game I ever played. Now, I wasn't like most kids. It's a lot of kids. If you ask them what their first Lego game is, I'm sure some of them will probably say this game, but a lot of them will probably either opt to Lego Star Wars, Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, even perhaps. But this was my first Lego game, that being Lego Batman, the video game. And what a time I'm as well to be doing this, considering the first like official Lego Batman game in over a decade is on the horizon, set to release next year. So I guess now is as good a time as any to tackle this game. Of course, as always, I'm not professional video game reviewer, video game analyst, video game critic, or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, and I'm not a professional because I'll actually give this game a good score because I absolutely enjoyed this game. And if that is something you guys want to see me do, legitimately give like games or even anything I review certain scores, I try to steer away from that because I want to keep it more casual and a bit more laid back. But if that is something you guys really want to see, please feel free to let me know in the comments. But yeah, I absolutely enjoyed this game. It was fun going back to replay this game and tap into my childhood a little bit. Now, a couple things worth mentioning before we get into it. For starters, I am playing the PC version, or I played, I should say. Or I guess still playing. It'll tie into the second thing that I want to bring up. But I'm playing the PC version of Lego Batman, not the console version. Although I did have it for my PlayStation 2, so it was Christmas of 2008, and I got Lego Batman, the video game, for Christmas that year. And funnily enough, 4 years later, I ended up getting Lego Batman 2 for Christmas. And then a couple years after that, I bought Lego Batman 3 myself because that was around the time I had money, and kind of like my own money as I was, getting older and was becoming a teenager and everything. But nevertheless, without further ado, now that that's out of the way, let's get right into it. The other thing I did want to bring up was I am going for 100%. I wanted to 100% the game. My goal was to try to 100% as many Lego games as I can. Do I think I'll 100% all of them? Probably not, but to 100% as many as I can. It's kind of a personal goal I set for myself, and this game will be no different. Now I haven't done that. I wasn't able to do it in time for this video, but kind of in the background, just know I'll more than likely be going for 100%. Thankfully, the older Lego games aren't, for the most part, as hard as the newer games. The thing about the newer Lego games is that a lot of times it's not really hard. I would say I think hard's a little too strong of a word, but it is. More so a little bit time consuming is the thing. But yeah, so I'm going to be going for 100%. So yeah, that's going to be something I'm going to be striving towards on my own time. But I still want to get this review out of the way. So of course, if you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of already have an idea of how this works. But if you haven't, I'm going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about the game, as well as give a brief plot summary. Now, the plot summary is a little weird. So, this isn't like a lot of like traditional games where it's an overarching story throughout the whole thing. This one's kind of broken up. That's also how a lot of the older Lego games were. They were broken up into several different stories. For example, Lego Star Wars. or especially like Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, is broken up into the different episodes, and then chapters within each episode or levels within each chapter. You get the idea. Lego Batman kind of follows a similar format, and now, unlike other games such as like Lego Star Wars or like Lego Harry Potter or like Indiana Jones, and of course, going back to what a lot of people's first Lego games was, probably a lot of people's first Lego game was also probably Harry Potter, but this story is more of an original story. It borrows some elements from like the Batman 1989 movie and Batman the Animated Series, and we'll get to that. But pretty much how the story is laid out is it's broken up into three levels. Those three main kind of stories. Is that being Riddler's Revenge, Power Crazed Penguin, and the Joker Returns. And what you do is you go from level to level, and you and the main villain of each is kind of, well, it's kind of explained in and the names of those chapters there. The first one being the Riddler, the second one being the Penguin, and the third being the Joker. And so you go through each level. Well, you fight a villain, or you got vehicle stages. Not as many on the villain side of things, but especially on the hero side of things. There's at least one vehicle level per chapter. So you go through each, and you kind of you kind of make your way to the villain, and then fight them within the level. A lot of the older Lego games weren't really as story rich. Just the newer Lego games kind of focus a little more on that. Which one you prefer is up to you, but yeah. So starting with the first chapter, or pretty much the overarching story is that, and it's laid out here in the wiki. It says the Riddler's after the city savings and the Gotham Gold reserves. He's aided by Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Mister Freeze, and Clayface. The first level actually starts off with fighting Clayface. The second one you battle Mister Freeze. The third level is the vehicle level. The fourth level you go after Poison Ivy, and you go to a variety of different environments. And then the fifth and final episode, you go to the Riddler. The first level you go after Clayface as they break into Gotham Bank, and the second level you go through Mr. Freeze's lair, which is kind of styled after like kind of his lair in Batman and Robin. The third is vehicle level. You go after Two Face and his truck. The fourth level, well, you battle Poison Ivy in the botanical gardens, and then the fifth and final level, you go after the Riddler at the Gotham Gold Reserves. The second, that being the Penguins, it says the Penguin plans to seize control of Gotham using his remote-controlled penguin robots. He's aided by Catwoman, Bane, Killer Croc, and Man-Bat. Now, you don't actually encounter Bane or fight Bane at all in the hero side of things. You actually don't get to play as him until the villain side of things. We'll get to that. But you do go after her, Catwoman, Killer Croc, Man Bat, and of course Penguin. And there's a vehicle level where you battle the Penguin's ship, or the Penguin's boat. And then the third chapter, that being the Joker's return. The Joker intends to blow up the cathedral with explosives and spread his deadly laughing gas across Gotham. He's aided by Harley Quinn, Scarecrow, Mad Hatter, and Killer Moth. So you start out going after, or I believe Mad Hatter's first up, and then Killer Moth. Then you have a vehicle section where you battle Scarecrow's biplane, in which it kind of sucks we didn't get a dedicated Scarecrow fight. Like, in the game, it's relegated to a vehicle. So, in other words, Scarecrow pretty much got the Deathstroke a la Arkham Knight treatment. Then you battle Harley Quinn, or I think if I remember correctly, it was a little while since I beat the hero story. It's I believe the order is Mad Hatter, Harley Quinn, then Killer Moth, then Scarecrow, and Joker, if I'm not mistaken, or the order might be swapped. It might be Killer Moth then Joker. And then you go through the villain side of things, which is pretty much kind of the same events as the hero side of things, but told from the perspective of the villains. So, oh, sorry if I keep looking over there. My phone's over there. It's actually charging, but I am tracking something coming to the house, so uh, I do have to keep an eye on it. Um, but yeah, so you go through. So like I said, you go through each level. You battle through the various goons, oftentimes related to the main villain, and sometimes you'll battle other goons and stuff, such as like when you battle some of the plant monsters that Poison Ivy has, and then on the villain side of things, you battle more so either law enforcement, and aka GCPD, uh, or you'll battle all the other denizens, and such as when you go to like the Gotham Zoo, you fight the zookeepers and stuff like that, or when you go to the botanical gardens, you fight the staff there. So, oh, oh yeah, yeah. So, that is the story. Like I said, it not it's somewhat story rich. But it's more or an overarching theme, and I do like that sense of continuity through each, such as Riddler. You keep missing him, you don't catch him, but he does leave various riddles, as the Riddler often does. Or in the case of the level right before Joker's, once you beat Killer Moth, I believe it is, then after you beat him, then you're standing right across the street, or you can see Gotham Cathedral from the other building. So you head right over there. So that overarching continuity through each chapter is really cool to see, and I guess that's the first thing I like about the game. But the other thing that I like is that the combat it's not as robust as later Lego games would be. Eventually, you gotta remember this game came out a while ago, so I can't rag on it too much. But it is still pretty fun, and you mainly play as Batman and Robin, and they're for the most part very similar, but sometimes simple yet elegant applies, is where it's not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot of complexity, but it doesn't need to be. Of course, you have the ability to melee and punch, and you will be punching a lot of enemies a lot of the time. But you also have the ability to throw batarangs. There's the various suits that you can get for both of your heroes. Batman has the glide suits, the demolition suit, the heat resistant suit, and the sonic suit. Meanwhile, Robin has the scuba suit, or I may accidentally say the wrong name, but or I believe it's called the dive suit in this game. So yes, the dive suit, the technology suit, the magnet suit, and the attract suit. And these suits allow them to do different abilities. He's specific to just them, and it allows you to get through some of the puzzles. And the way the puzzles are laid out is actually pretty cool. Oftentimes requiring you to build stuff. If you've played a Lego game, you kind of already know what to expect. But that aspect made things really cool and really interesting. Thankfully, I'm not playing with my sister this time around, because we used to play together a lot, so I was able to get through these levels relatively quickly, with some exceptions, of course. But and even some of the longer levels aren't super long. You're not going to be there like 4 hours trudging through each level. Although some levels are longer and harder and more annoying than others, but we'll get to that. But that ad aspect is pretty cool there. And the villain side of things, you get to play as a variety of villains, such as the Riddler, Clayface, or Two Face. It's a lot of the villains that I kind of laid out in the plot there. And the villains have different unique abilities, such as Riddler being able to mind control, well, not Catwoman, Poison Ivy being able to use photokinesis, where she's able to control plants. So, so it seems like just about every character serves a different purpose, and you are able to unlock other characters as well, such as Alfred, Nightwing, Batgirl. On the villain side, you're able to unlock characters such as Ra's al Ghul. Now Ra's al Ghul, I don't believe you're supposed to get until you 100% the game, but one time when I logged into play, or I guess booted up the game to play, they just gave me Ra's al Ghul. So I was like, okay. And apparently, I was looking into the other like forums and stuff on Steam and stuff like that, and apparently sometimes they'll just give you Ra's al Ghul for free. So okay, but but there's different characters and there's different vehicles to unlock. And the other thing I do like is that the other characters and vehicles serve a purpose because as there is the main story mode where you go through the level normally and progress the story, but there is free play mode where you go in and are able to are able to play it again, this time with a select few characters, so choose your characters wisely. It isn't like the newer Lego games where you can select characters, but if you go to switch characters, like if you hold down the I guess toggle button for PlayStation, that would be the triangle button. For Xbox, that would be the Y button. But pretty much whatever is the topmost button, because the button layout varies depending on the system. You'll get to bring up the whole grid. Not in this game. You only get a certain few characters depending on who you select, and you select characters. The other ones are selected randomly, but it does add that replay value and does give that sense of exploration. I'm actually here, so I'm able to see it better. Background peaked out a little bit. It's um, adding to that sense of exploration. I think is really really cool. Um, there's also, of course, the soundtrack. Now, how I would harp on the soundtrack being awesome, but it does feel like cheating. It's essentially the soundtrack for the 1989 Batman movie, which, hey, I am not complaining because that soundtrack is awesome and iconic, and you get to a lot of it within the game, like throughout the game. And man, it really adds that sense of atmosphere her and something charming about it. Now, this was before the days of the talking Lego characters, so this is when they were still doing mumbles. But there's some funny moments and some really charming moments. And I feel like the older Lego games, it's cool that we have talking characters and everything. In fact, Lego Batman 2 would be the first game to have talking Lego characters. But there's something so charming about the way they like do the mumbles and grumbles and stuff like that. No. Oh, but I do like how they also pulled aspect for like the different levels and stuff like that, and I guess the story overall, they pulled from several different sources. They pulled from 1989 Batman movie. They also pulled from Batman the Animated Series. So, definitely, yeah, all kinds of stuff to love when it comes to this game and how it's laid out. Okay, sorry about that, guys. The food showed up. Now going into what I disliked or didn't quite like as much about the game. Uh, and to be honest, I can't harp on this too much because as then I'd just be making fun of an old game for being old. But there are certain aspects of it that don't quite age the best. It does show its age a little bit when it comes to some of the mechanics and stuff like that, and some of the graphics, but I really can't harp on it too much. It still looks really good, even several years later, almost 20 years later. Uh, but but the game does spike in difficulty, not a whole lot to where it's unbearable. Well, it's not like Dark Souls or anything, but uh, once you notice the spikes, it does get kind of annoying. Some of the character designs do look kind of weird, more specifically like Nightwing. That is nowhere near his hairstyle. They actually really wouldn't get Nightwing's hairstyle like down packed into like Lego Batman 3, yeah, which is funny. Um, he um, what else did I not really like? I think. that was about it. It's did have one other thing, but can't quite think of it at the moment. We'll ignore it. But yeah, really fun game. Glad I was able to revisit it and kind of revisit my childhood when it comes to that aspect. But now also as an adult, learning some new things about it. For example, did you know that the game had very different animations at first or so? Of course, if you played a Lego game, you know. That was the other thing I was gonna bring up in terms of kind of dislike. Some of the enemies are a little on the bullets punchy side of things. Because maybe I'm used to only one or two hits doing the job in more modern Lego games, but some of these enemies take like three or four or five hits. It did get a little annoying, and they do swarm you like crazy, especially when you're trying to do stuff like build. So that got kind of annoying. But back to the did you know? Did you know? The some of the original death animations for some of like the bad guys in the Lego Batman and the game were a lot darker. Like I'm talking head pulling off, and then like the neck piece like elongating with it, so it looks super stretchy. It actually looks really really disturbing. If you haven't already, check it out on YouTube. And one last dislike because I also forgot to bring this up. The roster for this game is kind of on the small side. Now, this was before the for like Lego Batman 2 where a lot more DC was incorporated. It's literally called Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. But but not a lot of meat on the bones when it comes to the roster. The roster is pretty tiny. And I imagine that has to do with them sticking mainly and kind of strictly to Batman. I guess when you stick to only one aspect of it, it's going to be that's kind of what you get. And I know a lot of people do have that same fear for the upcoming Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight game, where only 7 characters are seemingly playable. Well, Oh, but but I do kind of get it for for the latter, that being Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, because if it's more Arkham style, there weren't a lot of playable characters in the Arkham series. Is So I kind of get on that front. But in this one, on the roster is kind of tiny, at least compared to where we are. And like I said, game's kind of old. I can't compare it to say like Lego Batman 3's roster, which is pretty massive, or even or even like the Lego Marvel Superheroes games, which have massive rosters, or even God forbid the Star Wars Skywalker Saga with a huge roster. Like I can't fairly do that, but it does seem a little bit on the small side. Like even back then, and but nevertheless, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, or this review, I should say. Thank you. Well, review slash video. You get what I mean. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on those post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you never miss an upload. And let me know in the comment section below. Did you like or dislike the Lego Batman game? And did you dislike my review of the Lego Batman video game? Let me know. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace. Shame on all of you letting me conclude the video without bringing up the DS version. The DS version of Lego Batman. First of all, wasn't a game I got till much later when I got my DS, but also features a lot of similarities, but also a lot of differences compared to its console counterpart. All right, things are more condensed, of course, but there are some more like exclusive characters for the DS version of the original Lego Batman. Characters who don't make it into the console version, such as Mr. Zaz, who apparently was supposed to be. The rumor has he was supposed to be in the main console version, but it did have exclusive characters, and the trend would kind of continue for Lego Batman's 2 and 3. Not as much for 3, but especially for 2, which was funny because even some of like the DLC characters they had for Lego Batman 2 wound up being for free in the DS version. So, uh, Go figure. But yeah, so the DS version, a lot of people consider to be the best version. A lot of people love the DS version. Also, sorry if you see the fly flying around. Try my best to get rid of him, but, uh, he's actually been in there for a couple of videos, so I gotta really bust out the fly spray and really track him down. Let me see. And so the smaller ones are usually pretty fast, but nevertheless, so a lot of people loved the DS version, and me personally, I also love DS version. I still have my console version. I usually opted for that, but the DS version was pretty nice too. Oh, and of course you could play it on the go. But just had to throw in that little tidbit. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Peace, and remember to wake up Green Day. Cool.